What's good, family? A warm welcome to all of you, to the African family. Uh, my channel is very African centered, so it's either you are African or you're not. Uh, I welcome everyone that is of everyone that is of African descent to my channel. I am Chudrano, and I am very excited today. I am on the march for 500 subscribers. And a warm welcome to all of you, especially my African family. I do not discriminate anyone that recognizes themselves as African. Okay, my channel is for you. Okay, so welcome to my channel again. Thank you to all my existing subscribers. You've made it possible for me to get this far. And every day, I grow in confidence in what I do, and things are getting better. All right, things are getting better with my channel. I am on a march for 500 subscribers, and this is very, very exciting for me. Okay, I cannot express how excited I am here. I mean, 500 subscribers is amazing. I became really, really active on YouTube going back about 10 months ago, and steadily, I have seen progress in myself. I have taken on a whole lot of very, very positive uh you know people, very optimistic people, and this is what I like. I like like minds. I like to always hang out with like minds and positive people that have plans for the future, and see the greater good in humanity and stuff like that. Yeah, so again, welcome to my channel. Let's see who is in here. uh I am highly motivated to do this stream, actually. Let's see. I've got two people watching. All right, excellent, excellent. So Niger boy, yay, praise family. I didn't have to invite you this time. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for joining the stream, family. Yeah, there's one other person watching. I've got two people watching, but um, I think they've dropped out now. But yeah, I am very, very excited about today's stream. It's gonna be a heated one. As I said, it's quite a warm, you know, unusually warm morning here in Melbourne. Let's see. Let's show you. Ooh. It is actually 13 degrees in the morning. Like, it's 9:44 a.m. It's winter, okay, and it is 13 degrees. A week ago, around this time, it was 2 degrees. Okay, just last week it was 2 degrees. This time around, last week, okay, 2 degrees, and today is like 10 degrees warmer. So something's really, really happening with our planet. All right, so today's topic is going to be about, the heat wave in Europe. And I have an excellent article from skynews.com. I watched the YouTube video, and I went onto the website and read the article, and I want to share that with you. Okay, there's something happening with our globe. Okay, we Africans are the original people of this planet, and everything will be in our favor eventually. Okay, things might not be going too great for us currently, but eventually, okay, the tables are going to turn. Okay, and it's been so for thousands and millions of years that we've been on this planet. So I'm going to share some knowledge with you on that as well. Other current affairs happening in Africa, with the African couple nations, the conflict in Libya, okay, the war in Libya, okay, the war to take control of Libya, Tripoli, it has taken a major turn, as expected. But does that mean that it's the end of the troubles in Libya? I doubt it. But we'll see. We see further development. Yeah. So give me a moment, family. I'm just gonna put the stream out there, invite the family to come in, come support my channel. Okay. On the march for 500 subscribers, I've currently got 495 subscribers. So we're powering up. Okay, we're powering up for 500 subscribers. if you join the stream and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, like this stream, okay, and share, okay, share and help your boy Chief Drano gain 500 subscribers. All right, and let us march for 1,000 subscribers. All right, so bear with me for a moment. I'll share the stream and we'll. Yeah. I'm trying to invite O'Shea here. I hope he's not sleeping. So yeah, please join me for 500 subscribers. Share the link. Okay, welcome your friends. I mean, invite your friends in. Okay, invite your friends and help us get 500 subscribers. Okay. So yeah, is all right. So I have shared the stream. Yeah. Where's Watermeyer? Let's see if I can get Watermeyer here. All right. Okay. So that's out of the way. New subscriber from McDolly. Thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it, family. I really appreciate it. All right, if you're YouTube, I'm gonna subscribe back to you, okay? Because this is how we do it, right? Each one help one. Thank you for joining the stream. Okay, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Now, yeah. All right. I see. I don't know if I want to mention it, but yeah, that's you, fam. You know who you are. All right. You know who you are. All right. So thank you. All right. I don't know if it's something new that you want to develop, family, but yeah, Matilda, thank you for joining the stream. Yeah, I really enjoyed your stream the last time. Okay. Thank you. BRB, I'll give you the fight for my colleague's phone. Thank you, family. Thank you, Daja boy. Yeah, Matilda, I'm doing great. Thanks. How are you? Sister? Thank you. Thank you for joining. All right, so on the road for 500 subscribers. All right, Giordano has put in a lot of work in the past 10 months that I've been on YouTube, very active on YouTube. Okay, I came with a bang. Okay, and I am following with a bang. Okay, I'm not gonna stop. Okay, I'm very passionate. This is something that I'm very passionate about. Okay, Africa is something that I'm very passionate about. I said this before, right? There's only one thing that I have faith in. Okay, I only have faith in Africa. Right, it's the only thing that is constant in this on this planet. Okay, when you look at the entire world, it's only Africa that is set in one position, and all the other continents, shift around Africa, right? And it's been so for billions of years. Okay, the only thing that's constant in this universe, okay, is change. Okay, believe it or not, right? Nothing is gonna stay the same forever. Everything is gonna change. All right. So can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Yeah, let's see. Let's see if yeah, oh my goodness. So yeah, the count is now 499 subscribers, family. 499 subscribers. If you join the stream, please share it, share the stream, and welcome your friends in. Okay, invite your friends in. Okay, and share the stream. Share the stream, please. Okay, right. Share the stream and help us grow. All right, 500 subscribers. I want to really do this. Okay, I want to really do this. All right. So I thank you all for your support, Mr. Niger Boy. Thank you so much. Uh, you're a great brother, and I really appreciate you, family, and all my sisters. Matilda, thank you for being here. Elm City, where you at? Okay, Elm City, where are you? All right. Um, you know. So yeah, family, thank you so much. Let's see now if I'm on 500 subscribers, 499 subscribers, family. So the very interesting that in a day I could get like four subscribers, and then I blink and they're all gone. And I'm like, why did I lose all those subscribers? So I think something YouTube is the algorithms with YouTube is a bit funny sometimes, but yeah, it's been just climbing steadily, but I'm getting there. Okay, I'm pushing hard. All right, so without much ado, I think I've got enough people here. I've got two people watching. I don't like speaking to myself, but thank you all for joining me. All right. I'm a bit of a rebel, okay? So, this is my shirt, okay? Pirates, all right, One Piece. All right. So I love One Piece so much, okay? I do have the rebel spirit, rebel energy, okay, to cause change, okay? And that this is what being rebellious is about, okay? Causing change, okay? Revolutionary, all right? This is the kind of person that I am. I love to see change, all right? So you know starting with the topic, okay? The heat wave in Europe. I don't know who is in Europe. Matilda, are you in Europe at the moment? Oh, you've been losing subscribers too, Matilda. Okay, I really do not know what's happening, but yeah. Are you in Europe at the moment? Okay, so it's really getting hot. Okay, it's getting hot in Europe. Yeah, I came across this article from skynews.com. Okay, and I'm gonna share with you in a minute. Okay, it is getting really hot in Europe. I look at the temperatures in Europe; they're ranging from 39 degrees to like 45 degrees in some places. And this is Europe. Okay, this is Europe. First thing that comes to mind when you ask Europeans who are very ignorant about Africa, right? One thing that comes to mind when you ask them about Africa, all they know is Africa is hot. Africa is hot. Not only Europe, I think Asia, because these are the kind of images they feed to the international world about Africa. Africa is disease ridden. Africa is hot, arid. Nothing does well in Africa. People are poor. But then it do not show you that these things are happening in Europe. They do not show you. Watermeyer did a video some time ago about how hot it is in China. How hot it is in China. At the same time, okay, it was like 39 degrees in China, and it was like 27 degrees in Ghana, in Accra. So they always misconstrue the news to push an agenda to push you away from Africa. But actually, Europe is falling. Okay, Europe is falling. Africa is rising. Okay, whenever a superpower rises, the other must fall. And this is what's happening. That's why you see everyone running to Africa. Everybody is in Africa except Africans in the diaspora. Okay, and this is why I do this. Thank you for joining the stream. Anna Agudana, thank you for joining the stream. Sorry, I butchered your name if I didn't pronounce it right. I really, really appreciate you for subscribing. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you for joining me, and thank you for making you would be my 500 subscriber. So thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. You can email me your email address or your address, and I'll probably send you a nice gift. Okay, a postcard from Australia. All right. All right. So anyone who is in this stream, okay, my email address is chipdriner@hotmail.com. Okay, email me, and yeah, let's get down to business. So this is something that I'm really, really passionate about. I'm very, very entrenched in the history of Africa, the world, and everything like that, and current affairs and stuff like that. So I always like to be critically, mindful of everything that's happening in this world. Okay, change is so constant. Okay, if you think you're struggling, okay, don't give up. Be optimistic. Okay, work hard to putting yourself on top of that situation, and eventually it will give. Okay, you will be on top. Okay, it's called resilience. Okay, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay, this is what it is, right? So Africans have endured for thousands of years, okay, after a European invasion, and things are changing. Things are changing every 20,000 years. Okay, the climate changes. Is it pole shift? I don't know. I don't know, but there's a possibility of pole shift. A few years back, they were discussing the North Pole had moved about a few meters, so they had to recalibrate. Pilots had to recalibrate the compasses to be able to land on the airports especially in the northern hemisphere. So a few years back, when they talk about Africa, all that comes to mind is Africa is hot. Africa is hot. But then the average temperature in Accra, Ghana, is 26 degrees all year. Very beautiful, very tropical. I mean, you can go to the beach every day of your life. Rain, shine, you can go to the beach and have a swim. Okay. But in Europe, France, Spain, recording temperatures of 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, bushfires in last year there was a bushfire that killed over 100 people in Spain, and it's not going to stop. It's going to get worse. Okay, so as Africa is rising, okay, Africa is rising. Let's see, you can. As Africa is rising, right, Europe is falling. Okay, Africa is rising, Europe is falling. So this is what it is, right? Forbidden Fruit, thanks for joining the stream, family. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming here. All right, thank you so much. Right, thank you. I really appreciate all of you here. So thanks for all the support. Okay, 500 subscribers. I am very, very excited. All right, I am very, very excited. So yeah, so I was talking about the changes in the world. Okay, Africa is rising, Europe is falling. Okay, and you can see it, the trend. And the article that I came across, okay, it's asking heat wave in Europe. Okay, where is the heat coming from? These are the dumb questions they ask themselves, right? Where is the heat coming from? As if they don't know. And it really, really, really dumb. And then they're asking, how long is it going to last? Okay, so I'm going to read the article. Okay, without much ado, I will discuss the article. But just another point, key point. Okay, again, as Africa is rising, Europe is falling. And I'd like to key in this point that Paul Kagame was interviewed by France, one of the France news channel, I think France 24. And Paul Kagame, as you know, he always calls out, the BS, right? He had an interview with France 24, and they were asking him about the human rights violations that happened over 20 years ago in Rwanda. Like, Rwanda is not a prosperous nation. Everyone is peaceful. Tutsis, Hutus, everyone is hugging up with one another. Myself, I'm a proud Tutsi, okay, of Tutsi descent. I'm very, very proud to be of Tutsi descent, okay. And I'm very proud that Rwanda has this amazing, beautiful country that I can be proud of. Okay, I've never been in Rwanda. Okay, I was born in Ghana. I've never been in Rwanda. It's my dream to go see Rwanda. Okay, it's my dream, ultimate dream, to go see Rwanda and to see how my ancestors have uplifted the game in Africa. Okay, and Rwanda is only the start. Rwanda is only the starting point of the rise of Africa. So Paul Kagame was interviewed and they put him in the limelight and asked him about things that happened over 20 years ago. That Rwanda had breached human rights, or Rwanda has breached human rights and or has human rights violations against its own people. But then Paul Kagame was like, you are. It's basically like a pot calling a kettle black. You are pointing fingers at me, but more fingers are pointed towards you. Okay, who are you to call me out for human rights violations when Europe has been a bloodbath? Europe itself has been a bloodbath. World War One, World War Two, all the Punic Wars, all the the genocides. Before there was any genocide in Africa, okay, it happened in Europe. Okay, it happened in Europe. Okay, World War Two. Okay, World War Two killed over 20 million people. 20 million people, and you're talking about Rwanda. Okay, so Paul Kagame called them out and made them look really, really stupid. So I really applaud Paul Kagame for that. Okay, so who is the European Union to call Africans on human rights violations when Europeans have violated this for thousands of years? Where do we start? The slave trade? Where do we start? World wars? Genocides? Where do we start? And recently, what is happening in Libya? As we speak, the NATO fighters, the UN fighters are dropping bombs in Libya at the moment. People are being traded in Libya at the moment, and it's all because of Europe. It's all because of Europe. The war in Syria had sent a lot of ISIS fighters back into Africa, okay, and they're causing havoc, giving weapons to Fulani headsmen, and they are attacking the Dogons in North Africa at the moment as we speak. Who is to blame for that? That is human rights violations. And Paul Kagame also talked about Europe sending the asylum seekers or people. I mean, everyone, the human rights, everyone has the right as a human being to migrate. Okay, regardless of who you are as a human being, you have the right to migrate. Nobody can stop you from migrating. If you have the means to migrate, you are allowed to migrate. Okay. But Europe, when these boat people make their way across the treacherous Mediterranean Ocean on dinghies, getting to Europe, they send them back to drown. Okay, and this is what Paul Kagame was pointing out. Right, this is what Paul Kagame was pointing out. So a whole lot is happening. Okay, a whole lot is happening. Europe is not a favorable place. If you're listening to me, okay, spread the news so Africans can learn that Europe is falling. Okay, Europe is falling. Africa is rising. All right, Europe is falling. Africa is rising. When you look at the climatic chaos happening, the the permafrost are melting. Okay, in Greenland. Okay, the ice is melting. Okay, the weather is changing in the northern hemisphere. Okay, the hurricanes form off the coast of West Africa. The hurricanes, the tornadoes, massive distraction. Nigel, boy, you were in Texas, right? You see how hot Texas is? Okay, right. There's a whole lot of things that is changing in the United States. Okay, and these are places that are not suitable for our people. That's why for thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, okay, Africans only migrated to other parts of the world. Okay, but they did not set up shop. Temporarily, they stayed in these places, but they moved back to Africa. Okay, but when Europeans evolved, they decided to stay there after the ice melted. Okay, they decided to stay there, and now things are changing. Okay, human beings are going to move back into Africa as everywhere else. Okay, degrades. All right, here in Australia, we're facing major droughts. It is getting really, really hot. We have no water. Farmers are losing their crops. They're losing their animals because there's no rain. The grasses are not growing for the cows and the sheep and to have food, right? And in Queensland, where we grow much of our food, okay, Now we're faced with a lot of cyclones. So when it rains, it pours in Queensland and crops are being destroyed. So there's a whole lot of climatic problems happening. But in Africa, okay, everything is good. Like nature is really, really good in Africa. Okay, so this is why I have the faith in Africa. So without much ado, all right, I'll have a look at the comments and then I'll read the article. Okay. Forbidden Fruit, thanks for the comments. Rwanda is a beautiful place. You should visit the place. Of course, it's in my heart. Okay, it's in my heart. Okay, my ancestors are there, so I'm gonna go see it. All right. Again, let's see. Some BB laying low. I'm not sure of that. Getting ready for my trip. Oh, you're going to your European trip. You have like 100 trips to make in Europe. Oh my goodness. So you are attending a wedding in Helsinki. I can't wait for that video, family. Nigel, I can't wait to see that video, Helsinki. Do you know what? Do you know that I can fry eggs in 5 seconds summertime in Texas? Yeah, I actually saw a video like that. Someone was frying eggs on the rock. Okay, on the rock. Like here in Australia, right? There was one particular summer, I think 2008. Okay, it got so hot. Okay, you can see the railway line. Okay, you can see it buckle up. Like it became a wave. You can see it. Like we couldn't even drive our trains on the railway tracks. Like they had to be shut down because the railway tracks have moved out of shape. Okay, and this is happening in Europe. It got so hot in France that bridges can't be used anymore because they've deformed. Like these bridges were not made for hot weather. Okay, some time ago, I think they brought in this wheel. Like it's kind of like the wheel in London. They brought this wheel, and it's called the Melbourne Star. And what had happened was they built this wheel in Japan, but the engineers did not factor in the heat expansion here in Australia because it gets really hot in summer here in Melbourne. Okay, like the high 40s to 50 degrees here in Melbourne. They did not factor in that heat expansion. So they brought this wheel and then they installed it, cost a lot of money. And in summer, the wheel started, basically expanding and almost became a catastrophe, right? So it took like over 10 years to even build that wheel and put it back, in operation. But this is what's happening. Okay, people don't know, especially in Europe, they don't know that they can experience 40 degrees. All right, so there's a whole lot of change they have in bushfires all the way into like England. You should see the temperatures in England. And the heat wave last year killed 15,000 people in summer. 15,000 people. They died out of heat shock because they never heat in their life. Okay, first of all, you're mind blown because you think that, oh gosh, it's only Africa that gets that hot. You never think that Europe gets that hot. So without much ado, I am going to read this article. Okay, I am going to read this article. Let's see what else is here. What else is here? So yeah, you can fry eggs in 5 seconds in summer in Texas. I believe that, family. I believe that. I can do that in almost any southern state to the western states. I totally believe that. That's why there's a high concentration of Black people in the South. Okay, and this is where we belong. Okay, where it's nice and warm, right? Right, it's nice and warm. So I'm gonna share my screen. Let's see what we have here. Okay, we know. Again, invite your friends. Okay, thank you for joining the stream. If you're new to the stream, I really appreciate you. Okay, 500 subscribers. Let's see where we're at the moment. 502 subscribers. Praise, family, praise. I really appreciate you. Okay, I really appreciate you. 500 subscribers. Yeah, exciting. So I am sharing my screen now, right? Let's see. Okay. So okay. So let me blow this up. Okay, Europe heat wave. Okay, so this is from skynews.com. Okay, and this was only a few hours back. Okay, only a few hours back. Okay, it's Friday here, the 28th, but of course it's 27th in Europe and in the Western Hemisphere. So skynews.com. Okay, Europe heat wave. Where is the hot weather coming from, and when will it end? Okay, so all praises to the ancestors. Okay, the ancestors always know best. Okay, oh, if I can see right, that's this. I think this is France. Niger boy, you can tell me right. I think this is France, either France or Germany. I'm not sure. Okay. By Lucia Binding, news reporter, and Christopher England, weather producer. Right. So a heat wave is spreading across Europe, bringing temperatures up to 45 degrees Celsius. 45 degrees Celsius, which is 113 degrees Fahrenheit, right? As the so-called Sahara bubble hits. So I'm going to show you a map. Uh, Meteorologists say hot winds from the North African desert have brought the unusual. They say unusual, right? Well, guess what, family? It's going to be usual now. It's going to be constant now because they've been talking about a heat wave in Europe for like for the past 5 years that I'm aware of. So every summer, okay, it's getting really, really hot, especially even in England. Okay, that's why Africans, black people made their way. Okay, they discovered Cheddar Man. Okay, Cheddar Man was a black person from Africa, right? They discovered Cheddar Man, and about 10% of all people from England have Cheddar Man's DNA. Okay, have Cheddar Man's DNA. 10% of the English population have Cheddar Man's DNA. Before recent migration from like the Nordic countries like Norway, Sweden, and stuff like that. But original English people or people of the British Isle, okay, were actually black people. That's why Hebrew Israelites can run around and say King James was black, da 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 da, and so on, right? And who knows? We now see Meghan Markle, marrying to the royal British family, who were actually Germans, So we see they just don't like being black, but they are actually African people, just a different shade. But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. Nature is going to teach them a lesson. You can't control nature. Okay, this is something that they don't know. Okay, nature always has a final say. You can do everything you want. Okay, look in Japan a few years ago. Okay, that tsunami killed over 24,000 people. The tsunami in Japan killed so many people. Indonesia, 200, nearly quarter of a million people lost their lives. You cannot control nature. Okay. And I say this some time ago that, when Yellowstone blows, okay, say goodbye to the United States. Okay. And all this is happening as the world gets hotter. Okay. As the temperature rises, okay, all the volcanoes are going to be blowing up. All the volcanoes are going to be blowing up, and it's going to be catastrophic. So get out of there. All right, family, get out of there. Okay, as soon as shit hits the fan, get your passports. Be ready. When you see all these volcanoes blowing, okay, these are signs that you need to get out, right? So yeah, let's see. Naima Buckner, thanks for joining the stream. You're a bit late, but I really appreciate you. Okay, on the road to 500 subscribers this stream. Okay, I am currently at 502, and I really appreciate everyone. Ryan Names, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for joining the stream. Thank God I'm black. Oh yeah, all right. We really let me step out for a minute. Let me step out for a minute. Let me step out for a minute. All right, all right. All right, we really appreciate our skin color. I personally love my skin color. Okay, I am black and beautiful, black and handsome, black and proud, black and loud. Okay, I love being black. All right, this is me. I love being black. All right. So thank you all for joining the stream. All right, thank you for joining the stream. I'll get back to sharing. Okay, I'll get back to sharing. Just wanted to show that I am a black person. Okay, I'm not a Muzungu. All right, and yeah. So I hope we get to see the screen again. I am going to read. Okay, um, the what was this? Doctor, was it Ben? No, no. Dr. Henry Clark made a statement that Egypt primarily fell not only because of invasion and one is tribalism. Okay, one is tribalism and stuff like that. But Egypt prospered for thousands of years over that whole savannah region. Okay, was green. Okay, there were elephants roaming in North Africa, giraffes. You can see it on the cave painting. Okay, that wasn't long ago. That was like about 10, 15,000 years ago, right? Africans flourished in North Africa. The whole Africa was black, right? Heck, the whole world was black, right? But when the desert came, okay, everything's all Africans moved from the Sahara and went onto the Nile along the Nile River. Okay, but then the desert took control of Egypt, and Africans moved down south into the rainforest regions. That's why you see like the Ghana Empire coming up and the Mali Empire and stuff like that. Then you have your modern states like Ghana and stuff like that. So and Nigeria and stuff like that through colonialism and stuff and European expansion. Okay, all these things, the nature dictates that. Okay, nobody can change it. It's nature that dictates that. So no matter how these people act, okay, nature is always going to determine everyone's fate. That's why they're trying to get out of this planet. They're building spaceships so they could run to Mars when shit hits the fan. They're digging underground tunnels, building underground cities so they could hide. And it's gonna get worse, family. So if you're not black, okay, think about it. Okay, think about it. If you're not black, think about it. So that's why you see the upsurge in even interracial marriages. You see a lot of white women are now marrying black men just to have black babies, and it's nature that's doing this. Okay, I don't care. If you're racist, okay, you're not being logical. You're not being scientific. Okay, nature dictates. Okay, sometimes you can't control people's feelings. Okay, nature always determine. It's called evolution. Evolution. The planet is going to go back to being black. Eventually everyone is going to become black. Chinese people are trying to come back into Africa. Okay, there are over a million Chinese people in Africa already. So things are changing. The white people, like Europeans, have been in Ghana for over 500 years, and you should see them. You should see like a Ghanaian, a European Ghanaian. You should see them. They speak Ghanaian. They're even darker. They develop tans and stuff. Like everything is changing. Evolution is taking place. Okay, and this is what's happening. And the racists in Europe were not prepared for this. Okay, 45 degrees in France, okay, is going to ruin their infrastructure. Okay, because they did not build their structures for these kind of temperatures. Okay, they did not build their roads. They did not build their buildings to withstand temperatures of 45 degrees. So you're going to see a lot of infrastructural failure due to this heat. And they asking the question, where is the heat coming from? And it's coming from Africa, family. The heat is coming from Africa. Okay, when you see the hurricanes, the tornadoes, they form off the coast of West Africa. Off the coast of West Africa. Okay, so our ancestors are listening to our prayers. Okay, so all praises to the ancestors. Okay, they know best. They're calling us back home. Okay, they're calling us back home. All right. So I know very well that Australia is very safe because Aboriginal people have been here for over 65,000 years. Okay, 65,000 years, and the earliest form of life of a human being appearance was found in Americas, was found dating back 50,000 years, and it was in around Brazil, and these were black people. But in the northern part of the Americas, okay, like North America, okay, black people, nobody lived there because it was too damn cold. So the earliest form of life in North America, okay, of more than human is only about 20,000, 15,000 years ago. So things are really, really changing, okay, and every 20,000 years there's a dramatic climatic change. So we're going to be seeing rainfall coming back into the Sahara. Okay, last year it snowed in the Sahara. So, the Sahara is going to be green again, okay? And Africa is going to welcome back its people again. So life is going to go back in circle. But these people, Europeans, being so racist, okay, it will lead to their demise. Okay, they did not expect 45 degrees. But I'll read this article. Meteorologists say hot winds from North African deserts have brought the unusual hot June weather. Okay, so it's going to become usual for them. It's currently unusual, but it will be every year. Okay, last year 15,000 people died. This year is going to be worse, and this is only June, so we're going to see July and August, right? So um, meteorologists say hot winds from North African desert have brought the unusual hot June weather, which has caused school closures in France and increased the risk of forest fires in northeastern Germany. Northeastern Germany, you're having forest fires? You're having forest fires in northeastern Germany? Okay, so Germany, Poland. So O'Shea, where you at? Where you at, O'Shea? Germany, Poland, and Czech Republic broke their June records on Wednesday. Okay, these are very, very cold places. Very, very cold places. My mom says like I really, I can endure a lot of cold. My whole family just don't like the cold much, but I enjoy the cold. And my mom used to say, okay, my grandfather had German ancestry, so my mom always said that I do because of my German blood. That's why I never feel cold. But I know Germany to be very, very cold, very, very cold places. Poland to be very, very cold places. But experience this heat, okay, experiencing this heat. It's, I mean, in their lifetime they didn't expect it. So there's a chart here. I'm gonna show you this. Okay, this is gonna blow your mind. They should have blown up this map. Okay, they should have blown it up, but this is southern France, southern Spain. Okay, this is Morocco right here. This is Morocco, Algeria. This is Libya. Okay, this is Libya. This is Italy here. Okay, Spain, Portugal, France. This is Germany. Okay, Germany, Netherlands, Poland. All these places. This is England. Okay, this is the UK, United Kingdom. This is Scotland. Scotland. Have you ever seen a Scottish person? They're as pale as ghost. Have you ever seen a Scottish person? But imagine a Scottish person experiencing 35 degrees, 39 degrees. They're gonna pass out. So what's happening here? Right now, it's time for Nubia to be great again. Exactly. Okay, Nubia is gonna be great again, right? Nubia is gonna be great again. Ethiopia is gonna be great again. And mind you, the entire continent of Africa was called Ethiopia. The Atlantic Ocean was called Ethiopian Sea, right? So they started changing all these things. Okay, Egypt ruled the whole of Egypt ruled all the way up to here. Like Italy, the Minoan civilization was Egyptian. Okay, was African. Greece, all these places. Egypt ruled all here. Africans ruled here, all the way into Russia, into the Black Sea. It was all Africans. The Canaanites were all Africans, right? Africans ruled here. Spain, Africans lived all here like 1,000 years ago. They ruled it over almost 1,000 years. About 890 years, I think they were in Europe. Okay, Africans ruled all the way into Germany. Okay, Africans ruled all the way into or lived all the way into the British Isles. Okay, that's why a whole bunch of these races actually have black blood, or actually have African blood. When you look at the Y haplogroup Y, which is your father's lineage, okay, all these people here have the Y haplogroup coming out of East Africa. Okay, so their races, they self-hate. Okay, the self-hate, hating exactly what they are. Okay, is leading to their demise. Okay, so we're seeing this heat here. Okay, this is currently what's happening in Europe. 40 degrees temperatures across Europe could rise to 40 degrees. Okay, 104 Fahrenheit. It's already like 39 degrees in Spain, and we know it can get really, really hot in Spain. So yeah, this is what we are seeing at the moment. Okay, Italy. Okay, sweltering heat. They're baking over there, right? They're baking over there. right? So I hope you've all seen that. So why is the heat wave setting across Europe? Okay, so now they're going to explain. Okay, they're going to explain. Um, but they're not going to tell you that every 20,000 years, okay, there's a climatic change. Every so and so years, okay, there's a pole shift. Okay, the poles basically reverse. So the North Pole becomes the South Pole. So everything is turned upside down. That's why the Egyptians have the map of the world upside down, because during the time of the Egyptians, the world was actually upside down. Okay, that's why the Egyptians actually drew the map that way. And to this point, a few scholars are still baffled. They think that the world should be actually turned upside down, and they're thinking that it's because of the European imperialism or superiority complex. Okay, they wanted to put Europe on top. Okay, and make Greenland look as big as Africa, but in actuality, okay, Africa is bigger than Asia. Africa is bigger than the Americas put together. Africa is bigger than, like, Africa is the biggest solid landmass on the planet, right? Right. So they like to always explain their things away. Okay, explain things away, but let's see what they're going to say. So why is the heat settling across Europe? The heat is mostly coming from the Mediterranean and North Africa due to a high pressure system over the UK and off its east coast. And mind you, the Mediterranean was actually dry at one time. The Mediterranean, there was no sea there at one time. Okay, there was no sea. So um, Met Office forecaster Matthew Box described the hot air from the Sahara as an enormous reservoir that has engulfed the continent. Okay, and Europe itself, like when you describe what a continent is, okay, Europe itself is not a continent. Okay, the continent is Eurasia. Okay, the continent is a solid landmass which is surrounded by water, and Europe is not surrounded by water. So they like to always like separate themselves, but you know nature does not discriminate, right? So temperatures are due to rise even further. Speaking on Saturday, what has the response been? The weather warnings have already triggered emergency measures in France, with temporary fountains put in place and plans for public pools to stay open for longer. National Weather Agency Meteo France placed 53 counties on orange warning, the second highest alert, meaning potentially dangerous conditions requiring public vigilance as temperatures are expected to reach up to 40 degrees. So if temperatures reaching 40 degrees is a shock for these people, right? The biggest killer of most Australians, okay, is skin cancer. They don't tell you that. They'll rather point fingers at guns or drugs and that, but more people die every year from skin cancer than anything. Right? So they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you, but they are in trouble. They are in trouble. Okay, nature is reclaiming the planet, right? So exams have been postponed from Thursday and Friday, when the heat is expected to peak, after education after Education Minister Jean Michel Blanquer concluded it would be too hot. Okay, so here in Australia as well, when it's 40 degrees, schools close. We get to go home, uh, back in like primary school and stuff. So Germany's Eastern Saxony Anhalt state has imposed speed limits to 62 miles per hour, which is basically about 80 kilometers an hour, or 75 miles per hour on several short stretches of the autobahn. So the autobahn was like, no limit. Okay, no limit. The famous autobahn, but now they put 75 miles per hour speed limit until further notice. After fears the surface may crack. Okay, can you imagine that in Germany? The surface of the roads, okay, the surface of the roads are gonna crack. Okay, they're afraid that bridges are gonna collapse. Already, you see images of bridges, buckling up in France because of the temperatures are rising. So Neymar, let's see where you at. What's the comment, family? Chief, all white people that's not mixed are pale white. we are just used to seeing them with a tan. They tan their whole life. Oh yeah, yeah, spray tan. A few years ago, they used to go to solariums, but solariums have been found to be one of the causes of melanoma or skin cancer. So there's been a lot of advocacy to close solariums in Australia. I haven't heard much from it, but I think people have moved away from solariums. So they cannot tan anymore. So now they've resorted to tattoos. Okay, they resorted to tattoos. But you know, like even me, as dark as I am, okay, I need to use what's it called, sunscreen. Here in Australia in summer, I need to use sunscreen, else I burn myself. I burn. I do have a very, very light skin. I'm dark, but I do have a very light skin, and I do really burn. Right, like I've never known heat this much until I moved to Australia. Like I've never experienced sunburn until I moved to Australia as a kid. Yeah, I used to get really hot and burn, but thank God I can tan, so I got darker, and it's really great for me. All right, it is really great for me. So parts of northeastern Spain are predicted to be 45 degrees, and again, Spain they're already experiencing bushfires and the forest fires in Germany, northeastern Germany. Can you believe this? Spontaneous forest fires, which are caused by lightning striking, just random lightning striking the forest. So, a tweet that went viral earlier in the week from Spanish meteorologist Silvia Laplana described the situation as hell. Oh, they haven't seen hell yet. These people haven't seen hell yet. It's yet to come. Okay, hell is yet to come for these people. Right? They haven't seen it yet. So she added, of course, in summer it's hot, but when we talk about a heat wave too, so extensive and intense, which predictably will break records, that is not normal. So these people, the global warming naysayers, okay, are they seeing what's happening? Are they seeing what's happening? It has nothing to do with carbon emissions. Of course, we need to keep our planet clean and stuff. Okay, we need to embrace more renewable energy sources, and stop polluting our waters and stop burning fossil fuel. But one thing you should put in mind is it's all God's plan. Even though I don't believe in God like that, but it's nature's plan. Okay, every 20,000 years, things are reversed on this planet. So you can hate it or love it. Okay, it's gonna happen. And if you're not black, you're in trouble. If you're not African, you're in trouble. That's what it is. The planet is a black planet. You gotta have black skin to endure the harsh conditions of this planet. That's it. That's it. Okay, and they have this allegorical, explanations in the Bible. Adam and Eve were not clothed. Of course, you don't need clothes in Africa. You don't need clothing in Africa. It's paradise. You don't need it. That's why you see the Egyptians. They only wore a loincloth. I think I forgot the name now. That's all they wore because it was just nice. It was just beautiful. They were not worried about malaria. There was nothing like malaria back in the day. It was just paradise. But then Europeans needed clothes to cover themselves, to shelter away from the elements in nature. So it's their problem. It's the Europeans' problem, not ours. Yeah, not ours. So there's a video here. I'm not going to play it, but yeah, I'll leave the article. You can go check it out. So Europe heat wave brings record-breaking temperatures. So you see all these kids playing in the water. Okay, something that is unusual to them. Okay, but it's soon going to be very usual for them. They're going to be experiencing 45 degrees in France and stuff like that. So Professor, and then in winter, guess what? In winter, it's going to be worse as well. So the climate is changing. It's changing drastically. Okay, so it's gonna flip. Okay, so Europe is gonna be like the southern hemisphere. Okay, and Africa is gonna be, the southern hemisphere is gonna be the northern hemisphere. So that's what the pole shift is all about. Right. So um, let's see. Not the Egyptians you see on TV now. Exactly, yeah. Not the Egyptians we see on TV. Not the pale skinned Egyptians we see on TV. But when you go to Egypt, there are actually black people. People my skin tone are in Egypt, even darker than me, are in Egypt. Okay, and they're not covered. When you see the reason why these Arabian women or men they cover themselves is because they don't want to get sunburn or skin cancer. It has nothing to do with religious dressing. It has nothing to do with that. It's just because they don't want to get skin cancer. That's why they cover themselves like that. That's why it's so abhorrent that in modern society, like in France, where it's nice and warm. I mean, nice and cool. It's not well. It's changing now, but they have this hijab debates and stuff like that. They do not want people covering themselves because you don't need to cover yourself that much, head to toe like that. You don't need to cover yourself like that because you're not in the desert. But these people, they've incorporated it into the religion to cover themselves up like that. But the actual reason why they did cover themselves like that was because of the heat. They were covering themselves like that before even the Islamic religion took effect. Anyway, so yeah, the ancient Egyptians were dark. They didn't need to put on sunscreen. They didn't need to cover themselves up like we see in modern day Egypt now. So let's see. Our Arabians or Europeans, they had to cover themselves up. They had to cover themselves up because they can't protect their skin against the heat in Egypt, right? So Professor Hannah Clark, a natural hazards research at the University of Reading, said the heat wave with a buildup of humidity is potentially lethal combination. So this is why Europeans didn't really settle much in West Africa because of the humidity. They just couldn't stand the humidity. But now, wow, look, it's come to the doorstep, right? It's come to humidity has come to the doorstep. So the heat wave built with a build up of humidity is a potentially lethal combination. Children, the elderly, and people with underlying health conditions are particularly at risk, she said. When will the heat wave end? It will start cooling down at the weekend after Saturday's peak. So they are expecting a really high peak on the weekend. So yeah, brace yourself, family. It's gonna get really, really hot in Europe. So, but temperatures will stay above average across Europe well into next week. How will it affect the UK? So I showed you how it's gonna affect UK, right? This is the UK. This is the UK. So you have London here somewhere, okay? You are gonna be in your 40 degrees. It's gonna be 40 degrees in UK. So yeah, embrace yourself, okay? Embrace yourself. It's gonna be nice and hot, okay? Hell is at your doorstep. So let's see, where was it? How will it affect the UK? By the weekend, temperatures are expected to peak at 31 degrees Celsius. Okay, highs of 30 degrees Celsius could be seen eastern parts as far north as Yorkshire. Um, it's really funny that these people even get heat strokes when it's like 27 degrees. 27 degrees, they're getting heat strokes. So when it's 30 degrees, I wonder. And this is only the start of summer. So we yet to see July. We yet to see August. So yeah, highs of 30 degrees Celsius could be seen for eastern parts of far north as far north as Yorkshire, while temperatures will be in the upper 20s for festival goers at Glastonbury on Saturday. But it is unlikely to break records. Forecasts predict only a 30% chance of beating the highest temperature for June. Okay. The warmer weather is expected to begin on Friday with highs of 27 degrees Celsius. However, and 27 degrees is enough. It's enough heat for these Europeans to pass out and have heat strokes. Okay, so yeah, that's why you don't see a lot of them in here in Australia that much. Okay, they don't really enjoy too much. However, some will experience a muggy start to the day. So look at this fella here, right? I feel really bad for him. Okay, I love. He's already burning. He's already burning up. You can see his skin going red already. He's already burning up, right? A reveler uses a tote bag as a hat in the morning. In the morning at Glastonbury Festival. So yeah, how does it compare to last year's heatwave? So this is France, Paris. Okay, people cool themselves at the Trocadero fountain in front of the Eiffel Tower in Paris in July last year. So last year's European heat wave came in July, and maximum temperatures were below 40 degrees. So it came in July, but this year it's come early. So we're yet to see what's going to happen in July. So a period of unusual hot and dry weather contributed to wildfires in many parts of the continent during the spring and summer of 2018. Northern and Central European countries were hit with drought, with the west and north of Austria being the worst affected region. So Austria, I know Austria to be very, very cold. Okay, I know Austria to be very, very cold. I actually traced my ancestry all the way into Austria. So yeah. The impact of the heat wave was severe, even in the countries considered rich and well prepared. So this is how they like to always see themselves, like, rich and well prepared. Well, they didn't see the heat coming, did they? Okay. They didn't think that the heat from the Sahara is going to come knocking at their doorstep. They didn't think of it. So the few that are have a bit of common sense are migrating slowly. Are migrating slowly. You know, when I was a kid, I went to London. Like I saw like European families moving to Ghana. When we are trying to make our way out of Africa, okay, these people are making their way back in Africa. They tell you not to go to Africa, but they are there in Africa, heavy. They are moving back into Africa. So Niger boy, my home in Ukraine is crazy, extremely cold and extremely hot. It's gonna get worse, family. Embrace yourself, right? There's gonna be more hot weather in Europe. Okay, in Europe. Even what's it? I saw an interview with the Russian President Vladimir Putin recently. Yeah, there was a press conference, and there were people around Siberia, and it was like freaking 30 something degrees in Siberia. I just couldn't believe my eyes. Like Siberia had being 30 degrees, that was just shocking, right? That was just shocking. So yeah, if you're in Ukraine and you're experiencing hot weather, I mean, if you're in Siberia and you're experiencing 30 degrees, how much more Ukraine, right? Which is further south. So people enjoying the heat wave in Cornwall last year. So I mean, it's gonna be so hot, people will not be even on the beach. The UK experienced its driest summer since modern records began. From the start of June to mid-July, a heat wave was officially declared on June 22nd and caused a widespread drought, hosepipe bans, and wildfires. So this we saw this in Australia going back 10 years ago. We were not allowed to use hose pipes and stuff like that. And we're not allowed to use fires and stuff. So total fire bans, right? The highest temperature reached was 35.3 degrees Celsius in Feversham, Kent on 26th of July, according to the Met Office. So, it's gone up. It's going to go up. Okay, 35 degrees in Europe. It's unheard of, right? So, more heat waves to come. Okay, let's have a look at this. So, look at this kid, right? Very dark skinned kid. Okay, he is having a good time, right? If you're lighter than this kid, you'll be suffering. So parts of Spain are on high alert for both high temperatures and wildfires. So heat waves in Europe are becoming more frequent. So heat waves in Europe are becoming more frequent, according to scientist Stefan Ramstorff of the Potsdam Institute of Climate Research said monthly heat records all over the globe occur 5 times as often today as they would in a stable climate. So that was the end of that article. Okay. It took me a while to get here because I needed to interject, but I'm done with the article. Okay, related article: huge wildfire in Spain as heat wave roast Europe. Okay, so already the wildfires have already started in Spain. Okay, so soaring temperatures in France as expert warns of more to come. All right. So yeah. So this is it. Okay, if you are, this is Friday. Okay, if you are in Europe, this is what's gonna become of your weekend. It's gonna be very, very hot. All right. Embrace for 40 degrees if you're in France and Germany, northeastern part of France and Germany. Okay. So embrace yourself for very, very hot weather. Look at Italy. Okay, so yeah, Greece and that. And see the heat wave goes. So Niger boy, if you're still here, okay, if you can see the map, the chart, okay. I think this is Ukraine here. This is Ukraine, if I'm right. This should be Ukraine right here, and see the heat wave going all the way into Russia, right? The heat wave going all the way into Russia, isn't it? So yeah, this is Turkey. Turkey's down here, so it's really really hot, right? So yeah, yeah. So yeah, Ukraine. It's much of Ukraine is in yellow at the moment, but when you look at the eastern part of Ukraine, okay, it's getting hot. It's getting very very hot, right? It's getting hot. So yeah, I just can't believe my eyes that Germany, okay, Germany is experiencing this amount of heat. Even the Alps of all, okay, the Alps of all is experiencing that heat as well. So this is all the permafrost are going to melt. Okay, and it's going to contribute to global sea level rising. Okay, and they haven't even projected the temperature for Iceland in Greenland, right, or the Arctic Circle. Okay, last year the Arctic Circle completely melted, so we're yet to see what's going to happen this year to the Arctic Circle. So even Sweden and Norway experiencing that much heat. I've never been in Sweden, but you know, when I was a kid and I went to London, it was cold. It was summer. It was like 10 degrees. So it's changed. It's changed almost 20 years ago. It's changed, right? It's changed, right? So they should embrace it. It's coming. All right. So I will stop presenting. Okay, I'll stop presenting. That's all I wanted to share. That's the only article I wanted to share. So welcome to all of you again. Yeah, I really appreciate you, family. Thank you all for joining the stream. If you haven't liked the stream, please like it. Okay, like it and share it. Invite your friends and support the channel and help us grow. Let's see, 502 subscribers. I am very very excited. Okay, I'm very very excited. Thank you, Mr. McDolly. Okay, thank you so much, Niger boy. Thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for bring your friends in. Nema Bakna. Okay. I'm not done yet. Double I. Good to see you, family. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay. I'm doing morning streams now for, I think, until the end of July. I am on the afternoon shift in my company, so I'm still training. I have a lot of responsibility, so it's like a 3 months training process for me. So I have done a month with a morning group, and I'm doing a couple of months with the afternoon. And there is this older guy who's been in that position for over 25 years, and he is retiring. So he's going on holidays in August. So I am going to take his place. So they needed me to be very very well trained. So yeah, I'm doing quite well there. I'm very happy, and it's a very stable opportunity for employment. So I really take it and I embrace it. So yeah, thank you, family. I am very happy. Ryan Naves, thank you, family. Thank you, praise. Right. So Niger boy, don't worry. I'll be swimming and fishing in the Black Sea. Yeah, if the Turkish people will allow you to do that, Russia will allow you to do that, you can do that, family. You can do that by all means, right? Of course, after all, it's called the Black Sea, right? After all, it is the Black Sea, isn't it? So yeah, it's called Black Sea because it's, it belongs to us as Black people, isn't it? So yeah, much love for Ethiopia. Sad for the lives lost. Yeah, what's it called, the failed coup attempt. Did you get to see my video, family? Double I, did you get to see my Ethiopian, my recent stream before this one? Okay, I covered that. Okay, the failed coup attempt. Okay, this, see, the things that we do to ourselves as Black people. Okay, this had nothing to do with Europeans. Okay, this is somebody. Okay, Abiy Ahmed trying to cause reform in Ethiopia, in East Africa as a whole, in Africa as a whole. Okay, he's young, he's fresh, is vibrant, the future of Africa, and it's only unity. Okay, and when Abiy Ahmed came into office, he pardoned a lot of political dissidents, a lot of political criminals, and one particularly this general by the name Asemini, who was the perpetrator of the coup. Okay, he was caught for plotting a coup last year, and he was in prison. Apparently, he was tortured till he nearly lost sight in one eye. Okay, but when Abiy Ahmed came to office, he pardoned him. Okay, and he restored his military pension. He even restored his rank in the army. Abiy Ahmed restored his rank in the army. Okay, and then behind Abiy Ahmed's back, he wanted to stage a coup d'état. Okay, so it didn't go too well for him, and I'm very pleased. Okay, up Ethiopia. Okay, up Ethiopia. I'm very pleased. Okay, the coup was foiled. Okay, and this is not what we need. Okay, in 2019. Okay, we is a global awakening of the black mind, the liberation of the black mind. Okay, we're moving forward as African people. Okay, African people, we're moving forward, and we do not welcome detractors, right? African politics is childish. Yeah, because African politics, double R, African politics is childish because Europeans have subjugated us for over 500 years. They've interrupted our ways of ruling ourselves. Okay, which is through kingdoms. Okay, empires. That's how Africans ruled ourselves. We had kingdoms, like huge, big kingdoms. You have the Abyssinian Empire, which is now shrunk to Ethiopia. But mind you, Ethiopia was actually the entire continent of Africa was called Ethiopia. So much that the Atlantic Ocean that we see now called Atlantic Ocean was actually called the Ethiopian Ocean or the Ethiopian Sea, right? So Ethiopia has been relegated to a small corner in East Africa, which was formerly the Abyssinian Empire. Okay, we had empires: Ghana Empire, Mali Empire, Songhai Empire, and stuff like that. Ashanti Empire, the Zulu Empire. You know, what was the Zimbabwe one? I can't pronounce the name. Otome Tape or something. I can't pronounce it. But yeah, the Congo Empire. We had all these big empires: Kushite Empire, Egyptian Empire. The Moorish Empire. We had all these big empires. Right? This is how we ruled ourselves. Okay, this is how we ruled ourselves. And now there's a new empire coming. This is Africa. Thanks for joining the stream. You really missed the cookies from the start, but yeah, I hope you can go back and watch the replay. But yeah, empires is how we Africans, should govern ourselves. We are very socialistic people. Okay, we do well. We thrive in communities, and this is how we need to govern ourselves. So I am very focused on the African Union. Okay, I believe that every ethnic group or tribe in Africa, okay, should exist as an ethno state. Okay, this is what I believe. We should dissolve all the borders in Africa. Okay, dissolve all the borders. There shouldn't be any country like Ethiopia. Okay, there shouldn't be any country like Ghana. There shouldn't be any country like Cote d'Ivoire. I mean, Cote d'Ivoire is even an insult because ivory is illegal. Ivory is an illegal thing. So all the African countries change their names. Only Cote d'Ivoire is maintaining its name because they're so affiliated with the French. They're very happy to be called Black Frenchmen, which is a disgrace. Which is a disgrace. N'est pas bon. pas bon, right? And these people love to be French so much that they allow France to take $500 billion every year from them. They save their money in French treasury every year. And so these are the things that we do to ourselves. But when we wake up to the realization of the power within, the amount of power that we have as African people, we're going to really, really do well. Onyx Stallion, thanks for joining the stream. I haven't seen you in a while, family. How you doing? Overall, it's not as bad as 25 years ago. Sierra Leone and Liberia peaceful. Most SA countries or South African countries and East African countries are at peace, but still have work to do in terms of corruption. Um, I mean, corruption. Okay, we as African people need to hold our leaders accountable. Okay, that's why I love Paul Kagame for that what he's doing. Okay, Paul Kagame and Rwanda have zero tolerance for corruption. Okay, that's why Rwanda is doing really well, really well. So when the African Union comes into effect, okay, one of the prime agenda of the African Union is tackling corruption. So if you are a member of the African Union, okay, the whole African Union is going to come at you if you're a corrupt leader. So this is why we need to push for unity and solidarity, and it's only in unity. Okay, it's only in unity we can move forward and progress. Let's see. Did I miss any other comment? When Europeans are building their country, we only talk about ethnic power. So shameful. Yeah, it is shameful, isn't it? So yeah, we need to really discuss, okay, because as Africans, this is what we do. Okay, you would know this very well, Double I. You've been to Footscray, haven't you? You go to Footscray, what do you see? Or Sunshine, you see Africans under this umbrella in a coffee shop, sitting there just talking about anything. This is what Africans always do. We sit down and dialogue and stuff like that. But we need to talk about building. Okay, and this is what I do on my channel. Okay, I talk about building. Okay, percent. Okay, making a home base of operation on the mother continent, where we go back and build Africa, Africa for Africans. Okay, all descendants of Africans. Okay, this is what we do. Okay, this is what my channel is all about. This is what my channel is all about. Um, so yeah, you missed Onyx Town, you missed the heat wave in Europe. Okay, the heat is coming from the Sahara. Okay, so these Europeans, they think they're safe in Europe, but guess what? The heat is going towards them now. All right, the heat is going towards them in Europe. It's going to push them out. Okay, and Africans are going to learn that things are not as glittery in Europe as they always like to push it. Okay, the heat is destroying their infrastructure because they can't. They were not built to withstand that amount of heat. They were not built to withstand that amount of heat. Okay, an excuse to have a drink. Right. So I am very, very passionate about what I do. Okay, family. Thank you all. Okay, I thank you all. I have exhausted my points. All praise to my new subscribers. All praise, to all my existing subscribers. Thank you all, family. We all one family. I really appreciate you. So, Africa is rising. As Africa rises, okay, Europe falls. The West will fall. Okay, the ancestors are calling us home every time you see things like this on the news. Okay, heat wave, heating up Europe, France being 45 degrees Celsius. I mean, they never thought of it. Okay, the Renaissance of Europe has only been 600 years. Before then, Europeans were in the dark; they couldn't even read and write themselves. It was the Romans that taught them how to read, and it was the Egyptians that taught the Romans how to read. The Egyptians educated the Greeks first, and the Greeks educated the Romans, and the Romans educated the rest of Europe. Okay, the Romans educated the rest of Europe. Europe was nothing. Was a desolate place. It was nothing. All the wealth and knowledge was in Africa. Have you heard of Timbuktu? Have you heard of Timbuktu, the oldest university in the world? When you go to Timbuktu, what it did is they try and invade Timbuktu and burn all the books and the medical documents. Okay, when Egypt fell, they moved all the documents from Egypt into Timbuktu to preserve them. And this is why I not all I uphold the Islamic culture, not Islam itself, but the Islamic culture for knowledge and keeping of knowledge and learning, because all these things were written back in Arabic and they were preserved back to now. They're trying to destroy it, erase African history. But we had all these things. We had it as African people. We educated Europe. The European Renaissance is less than 600 years. Less than 600 years. They never expect that their temperatures are going to rise to that high. 45 degrees in France. They never expected it. But guess what? It's going to get worse, right? It's going to get worse. What would make a black man over 10,000 years ago, called Cheddar Man, what would make him migrate to the British Isles? What would make him? It's hot weather, basically hot weather. And back in the day, they were not wearing much clothing. Okay, what would make a black man want to move to Europe? Because the weather is warmer. What would make human beings move to the Americas? Because the weather became warmer. But before then, there was an ice age. Nobody lived there. Nobody lived there. Nobody lived there. So these Europeans were really trapped in caves. They were really trapped in caves. They couldn't. The ice was a barrier. They were trapped in Northern Europe, like, you know, they were trapped. But now they've all come out. They've come out to face another adversity, which is the heat. They can't stand the heat. They can't stand the heat. So yeah. This is why we need to embrace Pan-Africanism. Okay, if you are ADOS, okay, if you are ADOS, hashtag ADOS, okay, link up with your African family, embrace your Africanness, okay, embrace your Africanness. Someone like Yvette Cornell saying that how does Onyx Stallion, tell me please, how does Yvette Cornell get to call herself a black person when Yvette Cornell was saying that she ain't no African? Yvette Cornell was saying that she is only about 40% African, and majority of her ancestry is European, Irish, whatever, English, German. Why does Yvette Cornell get to speak for black people? Why does Yvette Cornell get to speak for ADOS? Can you tell me, Onyx Stallion? Can you explain to me? Name it back now. Can you explain to me? Why does Yvette Cornell get to speak for black people when she doesn't see herself as a black woman to start with? Right? So, I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy with ADOS. Okay, if you cannot link with Africa, if you're not on board with Pan-Africanism, okay, you've lost. Okay, you are begging for a position on the table with a white man. Okay, and in a sinking ship, the United States is a sinking ship. Okay, the United States is controlled by a handful of corporate individuals. Okay, a group of rich people that control the United States. The moment they pull the money out of the United States, it's a downfall. Okay, it's a done deal. Okay, the U.S. will fall like Babylon. Right. So, name it back now. I don't want her speaking for us. Well, but she is. What's her name? Yvette Cornell is actually speaking for you as African Americans. Yvette Cornell is one of the spearheads of the ADOS movement. And all their talking points is very anti-African, very anti-African, right? But little did they know that Africa is rising. Africa is rising. The West is falling. Everybody is trying to get into Africa except Africans in the diaspora. So I mean, we need to change this, right? We need to change this. Myself, my goal, okay, my future goal. I'm working hard, putting things together. Okay, I've already established myself. I own this place. I own my own house, 5-bedroom house, all to myself. Okay, I'm building my wealth. I have inherited wealth in Ghana. My grandfather moved from the United States. Okay, he has a lot of land. okay, which in future I'm going to go and develop. Okay, so I'm building my wealth here, and I'm going to take it back to Africa to develop. So this is my future aspirations. This is my future plan. So I'm only just started. I'm only just started, right? I'm only just started. So we link up, okay? We link up, we hook up, okay? We build this network of inspirational Africans in the diaspora. We go and build the motherland, right? And we will support each other, okay? If you are not part of the BAIO, join it. Join it, okay? Niger boy, we need you. We need your engineering expertise in the BAIO, because when the BAIO starts having the monitoring fund, okay, have saving money to go build a nation state, okay, we are all going. We as African people, we are giving the African Americans support. We are all going. I think they're looking at somewhere in Namibia, the desert, Namibian desert. Okay, and Namibia is only like how many people? 5 million people in a huge territory, huge, vast territory of Namibia. We can transform that desert into a modern wonder. Okay, like Las Vegas. We can do that as Africans in the diaspora. With our level of education, we can transform the desert into a viable place for all everyone of African descent. Okay, so join the BAIO. Let's help build together. All right, let's help build together. So yeah, what else? What else am I going to talk about? Someone asked me if I ever spoke about, or if I ever speak about Madagascar. Okay, actually, Madagascar is in the African Cup of Nations, which I'll speak of in a minute. The African Cup of Nations, Madagascar played a draw with, I think they played a draw with, I can't remember now. Is it Zambia? Must be Zambia. They drew with Zambia, and for the first time they featured in African Cup of Nations. But recently, reach out to anyone that you know from Madagascar, and send your condolences. They just recently had a stadium stampede, so people died. So please, stadium stampedes are not really great. People, you can easily lose your life if there's a stampede in a stadium, because everyone's trying to rush out. Whenever you are in a stadium and there's something, just sit still. Okay, stay calm in your seat. Okay, but if you're trying to rush through the exit doorways, okay, you'll get crushed. You get crushed and you die. Okay, stampede. It's called a stampede. You get trampled on and you die. So stay calm. Okay, wait for calm. Wait for the exits to clear before you walk out. Okay, before you walk out. So name a back now. There should be one bedroom with your name on it. Okay, this is actually my one of my spare bedrooms, and I'm doing my stream here. I've actually previously I was downstairs, and I have I'm gonna make this into my study. Downstairs used to be my study. It was the guest room, fully has ensuite, bathroom and shower. I mean, bath and shower, toilet, and in the bedroom, the ensuite, right? And it's for like guests. So it went like when my mom comes over to stay and stuff like that. I'll have families that come over to stay, or friends from interstate come. They can have that. But I recently wanted to make money. Okay, I have taken a pay cut to follow my career, which is a mechanical engineer. Okay, I've been working for other companies, doing other sort of jobs and getting paid pretty good money, but my career has been left behind, and I've not been doing much to improve or build my career. So I've taken a pay cut to chase my career, and sadly, I have to go start from the bottom. Unfortunately, I had to start from the bottom in this company that I started with, but they have really good packages. Like they pay, many companies in Australia pay 10% superannuation towards, is a retirement fund. They pay towards your retirement. 10% of your wages they pay towards your retirement, but this company pays 15%. And then this company has profit sharing agreement. So when a company makes a profit, they share it amongst the staff. So there's few little incentives that makes me interested to build with this company. So I started from the bottom and as a mechanical engineer. So it's really nice. it's really really great opportunity for me. And but I was saying that I took a pay cut, so I couldn't I couldn't rely on my income anymore. So I have rented out my spare bedroom. Okay, I have not my spare bedroom, the master ensuite downstairs. I have rented it out to an Indian man who has his family in India, and he runs a business. So he's also trying to save money. So we are working with each other and helping each other save money. And he's contributing towards my mortgage, and I'm helping him save money as well. So yeah, which is really excellent. Okay, so one other thing you can do, okay, to make money, right? So is to invest in property. Okay, invest in property. If anything, okay, if there's a natural disaster, that's whatever, okay, it washes your house away. If you have insurance, you can rebuild, but your land will still be there. Your equity, your wealth is in the land. You own the land. Okay, you can do whatever you want with it. Okay, I can choose to build 100 bedrooms on this piece of land if I wanted to. But then, okay, I've got to go through like a council approval and stuff like that. But chances I might be able to do it. But this is how you build wealth. You build wealth in property, in acquisition of land. Okay, so I really praise my grandfather so much for doing this for me. Okay, my grandfather so much for doing this for me. If it wasn't for my grandfather leaving the United States, I would have been probably born in the United States. Okay, and I may not even exist anyway because I wouldn't have, my dad wouldn't have met my mom and had me in Africa. So it would have been a different story for me. Okay. But there's purpose for everything, and we must make sure that we make the most of it. Okay. We make the most of it, and we are very productive. So let's see, Onyx Stallion. Yeah, the sunscreen cancer causing lotion will be in full effect. Oh, are you serious? Sunscreen cancer causing lotion. So apparently, yeah, sunscreen. I know sunscreen contains zinc, but zinc is meant to reflect the sun rays. But I don't know if that's cancerous, but or carcinogenic or whatever they call it. But TIA, are you still here? Congratulations on your 500. Thank you, family. Let's see. What else did I miss? Double I. I was talking to an African guy in Melbourne who has lived here for 20 years. He has a master's degree, but he only talks about tribal politics and admires African dictators. Such a shame and a waste. Yeah, double I always say that people like that are called educated fools. Okay, not everyone with great education, degrees, and great qualification are necessarily wise people. Okay, some people only get those degrees to get a job. That's it. Some people only do that to get a good, comfortable job, and everything else they don't care about it. So, yeah, but people like you and me, okay, take things to another level. Okay, we read between the lines, and and we work with things that are ideal, right? We are idealistic people. So that's the difference there, family. People like that only have ambitions to make money. That's it. So Onyx Stallion, one of the top 2 or 3 NBA players is African from Congo. He nearly got to the finals. Toronto put them out. The Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, yeah, I think I saw that final. Wasn't the Golden State Warriors that was in the final with the Toronto um, Was it Raptors? No, I think I saw that final. I don't really follow the NBA too much. My favorite team is Bolton and Celtics, but I haven't really followed them too much lately. I've been very focused on my grinding YouTube. So yeah. What else is here? Makes sense for doing your thing. Nema Bakna, thank you. Yeah, I think you referring to the shared accommodation there. Um, People do it all the time. Craigslist, room share, APT, condo. Yeah, it's a great way, family Onyx. It's a great way to make extra cash. Okay. Before I was worried. I used to, you know, if I'm out of cash, I want to go do a second job. You know, and didn't have enough time for myself. So I was running two jobs. At a point, I was making 100K, $100,000 a year and more because I was doing two jobs. But now I don't have to worry about that anymore. Here in Australia, if you make over 75,000 to 80,000 K a year, you're doing really great. You're doing really, really great. So, yeah. Uh, so yeah, I mean, the sensible thing, having 5 bedrooms, I built this house for investment because it's right behind a school. So 5 bedroom is great for a family of 3 children, okay, or 2 children, 2 children and above. Okay, so husband, wife, 2 children, or 3 children is great, and these children are going to be school going. So my house has gone up in value. Like I've only put it up 2 years now, or it will be 2 years in June since I moved in July since I moved in. Okay, and the property value had gone up nearly $200,000. Okay, so I'm waiting for it to be $1 million, and I will sell it probably. I will sell it and start again somewhere else, or just use it as equity and get another loan to build something else and invest somewhere else. So yeah, this is the power when you have property, right? So TIA, you still here? Thank you, family. Do you have any other questions regarding what's happening with the heat wave in Europe? What is Giannis Antetokounmpo? Well, that's hard to pronounce. Spell. What is that, family? I couldn't pronounce it too on Italian. I missed one of your comments. It's complicated to explain. Black peoples of color aren't really the same thing. Hispanics or Indo-Blacks can be POC, people of color. I think we need to really, really, really scrap the term people of color, okay? Because everybody is people of color. I think it's just a dumbass thing to say. It's only it's just as saying that calling people in the States as is the only people that are Americans, when we know that the entire continent of the Western Hemisphere, the entire continent is called America. So people in South Americans are Americans as well. People in Canada are Americans as well. People in the Caribbean are Americans as well. So it's a misnomer, right? But people of color is a misnomer. Everybody on earth is a people of color. Everybody on earth has skin color. People that we call white people do have skin color. It's called beige. And they go in range. You see people in like Greece, they can tan. People in Greece can be as dark as me. Italy, Spain, they can be as dark as me. But they're white people. Right. So this thing called people of color is just ridiculous. So we need to scrap it. It's either you're black or you're not. Okay, this is where we're at the moment. It's either you're African descent or you're not. Okay, people of color, we can't accept that. So the NBA player, that's his name, is it? All right. So let's see. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo. All right. I'm biting my tongue. All right. It's really double R, you're colorless. Right. Well, let me drink you up. All right, let me drink you up. I'll have a drink. How do you like my cup, family? It's Japanese. Yeah. So yeah. So what else to talk about? I've got time. What else to talk about? Current affairs happening in Africa. Shout out to Kenya. Okay, shout out to Kenya. The Kenyan president called out there was a Kenyan MP that was speaking in his language calling for Kenyans to headhunt Tanzanian business people or people of Tanzanian heritage in Kenya. Headhunt them, and basically he was being xenophobic. Okay, he made a xenophobic speech, and he said they should drag all uh, the um, the Tanzanians and the Chinese together with the Chinese, and beat them and cause them to leave the country. Basically, the problem they're causing the problems in Kenya. And guess what? He got arrested. Okay, uh, in this day and age, we do not accept xenophobia. Okay, we're all Africans. Okay, we if it wasn't for the British and the French and whatnot, the Germans, the Portuguese, there wouldn't be any country called Tanzania. There wouldn't be. And Tanzania is named after a mineral, a rare earth mineral that is only found in Tanzania. It's called Tanzanite. Is it Tanzanite? If I'm right. Okay, that's why the country is called Tanzania, and it's Europeans that discovered this rare earth mineral. So they named their place after it. But Tanzania never existed. Kenya never existed. Okay, so I mean, this foolishness in Africa needs to end. Okay, we need to dissolve the borders. Okay, we are Africans. Okay, we are Africans. Basically, we are like, when you go in a community, I have my house, you have your house, this person has their house. Okay, this is how we Africans are like. Okay, we can put walls around our houses, but it doesn't mean that we don't belong to the same community. Doesn't mean that my neighbor cannot invite me for dinner, or I cannot go to my neighbor's house, or my neighbor cannot come to my house for a good time. Okay, so this is how we need to see ourselves as Africans. We are all one entity. Okay. This is Africa. Tanzanians are not. What do you mean, family? Tanzanians are not what? Um, Niger boy sounds Greek. The name sounds Greek, doesn't it? Just because you cannot pronounce it sounds Greek. Mm. But I know, like Greek. Oh, the Giannis must be Greek. He's Sudanese, right? Because I know some Sudanese that have Greek names. But the Greeks, found their way all the way into Sudan anyway. So who knows, right? The Greeks, tried. They tried to get into, they tried to find the source of the Nile themselves. And what's his name? The Greek historian Josephus, Flavius Josephus wrote an article on that, where they're trying to get to the source of the Nile, and they reach a cataract. But the Greeks try. Even one of the oldest churches in Africa is in the Sudan. Right, it's in the Sudan. So they were very, very heavily influenced by the Greeks as well, the Sudanese people. So uh, I have a Sudanese friend that I worked with some time ago. His name was I forgot his name now. Um, uh, I can't pronounce his name now, but he's very, very he has a very, very Greek name. Yeah, so I said that easily. Do you think so? Let's try again. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think it takes practice, right? You say it 10 times, you should be able to uh, get the gist of it. Greeks and Gypsies. Yes, that's right. So double R, Africans are free to work and live anywhere. Yeah, the African free trade is going to permit Africans to travel throughout Africa and live and work. So, which is fantastic. All right, fantastic. Okay, I love that. And furthermore, the African Union is going to integrate all African countries. So they're going to be African states. They're not going to be any more countries in Africa, which is a win for us. Um, so Sudanese with Greek names. So does that make them Greek gangs? Yeah, you can ask that, family. You can ask that. You can ask that. I think here the gangs, the so-called African gangs. I mean, they're not African gangs. They're Australians. Okay, these Sudanese, a whole lot of them were born here. They were born here in Australia. So if anything, they're Australian gangs, right? So yeah. Niger boy, I'm moving to Cape Verde. Cape Verde is beautiful, family. Cape Verde is beautiful. Did I show you my DNA? Who wants to see my DNA? I was meant to be on Dinah's show. Who wants to see my DNA? Who hasn't seen my DNA? Okay, I do have family from Cape Verde. So who wants to see my DNA? Who hasn't seen my DNA? So I want to see. I left off talking about Madagascar. Okay, send your prayers to Madagascar. Okay, beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful place. They just experienced a stampede. People lost their lives, and the Kenyan MP, being xenophobic, he got arrested. Okay, the president of Kenya said he does not represent the views of the Kenyans, and Kenyans are welcome to do business and live in. I mean, Tanzanians are welcome to live and do business in Kenya. I can't believe Kenyans being xenophobic, really, but yeah, I know Kenyans to be very beautiful people. Yeah, so I actually once tried to date this Kenyan girl. She was so hot, right? She was so beautiful, but very dark skin, brown eyes. Oh, very tall. I'm like, oh boy. But the only problem was I was a little bit older. I was a little bit older, and it was sort of like a deterrent. But she really liked me, but she was too much of a Christian as well, which was, you know, which is not. I would go to church for a girl like that. Seriously, I would go to church for a very beautiful, hot African girl. But you know, it's sad. Like she was born here, and it's really, really sad that they a lot of them lack vision. And when you try to approach these girls and propose to them your future plans, they're too young to envision the future. So unfortunately, that didn't really work out, and I stopped going to church as well. So that's in the past now. But man, that girl was beautiful. That girl was really, really beautiful, Kenyan girl. Uh, Beautiful, beautiful brown skin, amazing. Anyway, so and I even though Amin Ra, if you heard of Grand Amin Ra, that's why he's in Kenya. He's not coming back to the United States because Kenyan girls are beautiful. So let me see, what else was I talking about? So the Kenyan MP, okay, being xenophobic, okay, that's not tolerated, okay, that's not accepted. We do not want that. So another news, the Libyan conflicts that's going on, okay. The General Haftar, Khalifa Haftar, wanted to take over Libya. Okay, so he knows that when he captures Tripoli, which is the capital of Libya, when he captures it, he's in control of Libya, right? And that's not going to happen, okay, because he's been defeated. Okay, he's been defeated. Okay, the U.S. U.S. Air Force dropped bombs on Khalifa Haftar's army. So those of you in the United States who subscribe to the U nothing to do with Africa, like O'Shea, right? Okay, the US is in Libya now, dropping bombs on Africans. The French army is in the Sahara at the moment, dropping bombs on Africans. Okay, the French army is in Mali at the moment. Yeah. So everyone is trying to get into Africa, okay, except Africans, right? So yeah, the Libyan, we will see. We might see some calm in Libya. Okay, we might see some progress, but I have some ill feelings towards the current government in Libya because it was put in place by the UN, okay, the United Nations put in that government. So the United Nations assisted the current government in Libya to defeat Khalifa Haftar, who was friends with Colonel Gaddafi. He wanted to Khalifa Haftar wanted to return Libya back to its former glory under Gaddafi, and obviously the Europeans have a different plan for Africa. So they are in Europe, sitting in their offices and controlling, determining the affairs of Africa and the direction of Africa. So I mean that's really sad. And also prayers to the president of Tunisia. He's already you know handed in his letter of resignation that he doesn't want a second term. So just I think a few days after he's done that, okay, just a few days after the president of Tunisia handed in his resignation letter, he's been rushed to the hospital. So yeah, pray for Tunisia, okay, so they don't have to put in a new president. So Pray for Tunisia. He's a really old man, but yeah, pray for him. He doesn't lose his life. So we need positive African leaders. Okay, we need positive African leaders. So yeah, yeah. What else to talk about? The African Cup of Nations. Okay, I already talked about Paul Kagame calling out the African Union on the human rights violations. Basically, Paul Kagame said, "Who are you, okay, Europeans? Who are you to call someone out on human rights violations when you, as Europeans, have violated the entire earth, wiping out Native Americans, you know, taking over Africa, dividing Africa like farmland." Okay, Australia, nearly wiping out Aboriginal Australians. Let me tell you this, right? Australian Aborigines, at the time the Europeans first arrived, there were 750,000 Aboriginal people. Guess what? At the start of the 21st century, okay, there was only about 30,000 Aboriginal people left, or less than. And today, there are 300, about 350,000 Aboriginal people, less than 1 million Aboriginal people. Since the Europeans came to Australia, they've nearly wiped them out. Nearly wiped them out. And when we talk about Aboriginal people, we're talking about like people that blue eyes, blonde hair, still calling themselves Aboriginal people because they probably have like a grandfather that was black, but they're proud to be called Aboriginal people. There's been a serious reform, lately. Not until the 1970s, Aboriginal people were not even considered as human beings. So 1972, the Australian government had a referendum where you have about 72% of the population, about 70% of the population voted that Aboriginal people should be drafted into the constitution and recognized as human beings. So it was only 2015 that the government of Australia officially gave an apology to the Aboriginal people for what they did to them. So, I mean, at least there's progress here in Australia, but in the United States, okay, the US government will never apologize to black people. Mark my words. All right, they'll rather sink in a sinking ship than apologize to you. Right, they'll rather sink with a sinking ship than apologize to black people. You don't do barbershop stream these days. I know I just got a haircut. I thought I'll give it a break, but I did one. I don't think you saw it. Baba Stream episode 5. I went to Werribee. I don't think you saw that one, did you, family? So I like to do it on the weekends, but this time I had this haircut on the during the week. Okay, so I didn't get opportunity to do the barbershop streams, but and also one reason I need to push for 1,000 subscribers. Okay, so share the stream. Okay, invite your friends, like and subscribe, because now YouTube has put a restriction on mobile devices. So what I do is I do my barbershop episodes on my iPad. Okay, but because my iPad has mobile broadband and I'm under 1,000 subscribers, I cannot do my live streams. So it makes it difficult for the barbershop episodes unless I pre-record and then edit later. So it will be short streams now, or short videos, and I find those really boring because you can't be spontaneous. So I like being spontaneous and put the camera in people's faces and watch them react. Okay, so that's beautiful. That's really cool. But when you pre-record people's dispositions, I mean, I don't find that interesting at all. So yeah, check out my barbershop episode 5. Okay, the guy that gave me a haircut the last time was from Eritrea. So yeah, Eritrea. What again? Double I. Do you think we will have an Aboriginal in Black MP in Australia? MP or Prime Minister, or PM, Prime Minister. Sorry, we do actually have the first ever Black Aboriginal MP, I think of some, I think Western Australia. Okay, member of Parliament in Western Australia. She's Aboriginal. That was the first ever. So we'll see if you follow on the news on that. But it's going to take a while. We already there are Aussies that are mixed with Aboriginal people that can claim Aboriginal heritage. So you see them blue eyes, blonde hair, but they can claim Aboriginal heritage. So you can see people like that in power, in the next future. So yeah, you see them coming up. Okay, you see them coming up. So yeah, that's a possibility. But quote unquote, very dark Aboriginal person, someone of my skin color, being in being the Prime Minister of Australia is a long road. It's a long road to be traversed. Okay, it's going to take a while, but eventually it will happen. It happened in South Africa, so I don't see why it wouldn't happen here in Australia. So yeah. But what they need to do is, Aboriginal people need to embrace a more modern society, and I'm all in preservation of cultures. These people have been here 65,000 years. Okay, they preserved the African culture. Okay, so if you want to see the African culture 65,000 years ago, okay, look at Aboriginal people. Okay, look at Aboriginal people. If you're modern Africans, okay, like the Bantus, North Africans, migrated to Africa later. Okay, the indigenous people of Africa, actually, the Khoisans, the Khoi or the San people, they are the original. Everybody else back migrated into Africa. See, everybody else back migrated, like the Bantu, the Nilotic people, and stuff like that. They all migrated back into Africa. But the Aboriginal people left Africa and they stayed out of Africa for over 65,000 years, 100,000 years plus. Okay, because it took over 50,000 years for them to move all the way into Africa. I mean, from Africa to Australia, and they've been in Australia for over 70,000 to 60,000 years. So yeah, they've really preserved the African culture and how we used to live over 100,000 years ago. So these are Aboriginal people. So not until they embrace the modern way of life, some of them, not all of them, but some of them can embrace modern living and then aspire for greater heights, as in taking control of the affairs of their country. So yeah, we're yet to see that in the coming future. So it's all through education. It's all through education. So yeah. I think the Aboriginal need to come more to the city and fight for their place in society. Yeah, it's hard to see them around town. Okay, it's hard to see the Aboriginal people around town, but when you go to a place like Bendigo, the country Victoria, you see a lot of Aboriginal people. Echuca, Shepparton, you know, especially towards the east, like Bright, you know, um, what's the name of this place? Albury, Wodonga. Okay, places like that, you see a lot of Aboriginal people, right? But because the government just gives them welfare, a lot of them are not motivated to do greater. Okay, so and a whole of them don't want to do any greater because if they feel entitled, this is our land, we don't need to do anything. But then you are just sitting there enjoying your entitlements. Aboriginal people deserve their entitlements. Okay, nobody else needs to work for them. But then the thing is, they are not in control of the country. They are not in control. The captain can dictate to the pilot of the ship. But at the end of the day, it's the pilot that controls the helm of the ship. So if the captain can say go left, okay, and the pilot can decide to go right at the end of the day. So I mean, and that is even the captain in control of the ship. But here, the Aboriginal people are not in control of the country at all. So it's only through education. They need to be very, very educated, okay, and then take control of their own country, and i.e., Look at Dr. Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, very, very educated. So he was able to take control of Ghana and wrestle it from the hands of the British without shedding blood, without shedding a single blood. You know, all only through education. Prove to the white man you can outsmart him. You see, and this is what we need to do. You know, prove to them that you are more. You can be as, if not greater, you can be equally as educated, equally as you know, intelligent, equally as professional, equally as, you know, equipped as anybody else. So Nelson Mandela did it. He didn't have to take guns and fight white people, but through his activism, through his intelligent approach, you know, the white people just have to bow down and give up. So Onana, thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate you. Okay. Hey Chief Drano, your first wife here. Oh, mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you. I love you, my newly found wife. Okay. I really appreciate you for joining the stream, Onana Nation. Okay, thank you so much, family. Thank you. I really appreciate you. How many children are we gonna have? Okay, I want at least 10 children. At least 10 children. So if I'm gonna have 5 wives, wow, 25 children there. At least five children per wife. Are you up for it? I'm the chief. What are you talking about? Five children per wife. 5 wives. Okay. So there's 25 kids there. But yeah, you know. Yeah. So yeah, I really appreciate you. Okay. Thank you. We've made 500 subscribers. Okay. 2 from each wife. That's 10 children, but I want more. So I want 5 children from each wife. So yeah. So yeah, so this is me when I go back to Africa, right? I'm gonna have 5 wives. So yeah, I do not I said before, I do not you know, no applications needed. Okay, no applications needed. If you want to be my wife, yeah, if you want to be my lover, you've got to, you know what to do, right? You know what to do. Oh, what, 600 subbies? That's impossible, right? It's 500, not 600. 502 subscribers. You scared me there. You scared me. It's 502 subscribers. But yeah, yeah, we're pushing for 1,000. Okay, so make it happen. Okay, share the stream, make it happen. Get me back on my barbershop live stream horse. Okay, I need 1,000 to be able to do live stream with my mobile phone or my iPad. So so I can bring you live, you know, events happening in Australia and stuff like that. I cannot do live events if I have less than 1,000 subscribers. So help me achieve that, family. I know people, I go onto people's channel and all they're doing is cooking and say, hi friends, hi family, we're cooking jollof rice, and then they go back to cooking. And they have like 1,000 subscribers. I'm like, holy cow, I am bringing you the knowledge. I am bringing you education. Okay, I am bringing you so many things, okay, to build us as African people. And, you know, I'm struggling to get 1,000 subscribers. So does that mean that we as Black people value, you know, entertainment more than education? It's sad, but I think that's the case, right? We value, you know, entertainment over education. So let's see if I can put more. Let's see if I can put this in the chat again. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the African Cup of Nations in a minute, and that'll be my last topic. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So 500 subscribers. I'm very excited. I'm very excited I can achieve this here during the stream. So I'm very highly motivated to do this. Yeah. Thank you all, family. Now I'm going to talk about the African Cup of Nations in a minute. So yeah, what is this? Congrats on 500 1,000 loading. Thank you. The world at large values entertainment more than education. So yeah, it is really sad, right? Um, yeah. So yeah, it is very sad. But yeah, I'm glad you're here. Okay, if you're here, you love education, and it's great. Okay, it's good to have you here. So I wanted to talk about the African Cup of Nations. It's part of Pan Africanism. Okay, the African Cup of Nation is part of Pan Africanism. It was established at the same time as the Organization of African Union. Okay, in Sudan. Okay, so where the African countries come together and have a soccer festival. Okay, and it's now, because the soccer, it's under FIFA, but yeah, it's all about, unification of African people coming together. So you have, like, this is like one of the only times you see Sub-Sahara Africa, relate a lot with North Africa. Okay, and you'll be surprised. North Africans love Sub-Saharan Africans. They know that Sub-Saharan Africans are their ancestors. Okay, myself, I am like 60% North African Berber, and for like 40% Sub-Saharan, like from Rwanda, primarily Rwanda, Mozambique, Tanzania, and Angola, a bit from Cameroon as well. This is me. If you want, I'll share my DNA at the end of this stream. Okay, I'll share my DNA. So you have to embrace the entire continent of Africa, and this is what the African Cup of Nations is. Okay, this is what the African Cup of Nations is. So we have Egypt hosting the AFCON 2019. Egypt hosting the African Cup of Nations 2019, and let's see. I wanted to let me see. I wanted to add hashtag AFCON. Give me a moment, family. Oh, I hate this keypad. I need to change it to the US. That's all. All right. So African Cup of Nation 2019. I'm gonna put it in here and see if I can get more people to come in here, enjoy the stream. So yeah, you see the title change. Oh no, it says my title is too long. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, it's been fixed. Okay, it's been fixed. Yeah. So I've just fixed that. Okay, AFCON 2019. I've added that to the African Cup of Nations. So you want to see my DNA? I'll show you my DNA in a minute. Let me talk about the AFCON one, and I'll show you my DNA. Okay, so the African Cup of Nations, it was first, formed in the Sudan. Okay, there was no South Sudan and North Sudan at the time. It was formed in the Sudan, and we're all one people. Okay, one nation, one country. Okay, in the 60s, all by efforts of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and the independent African nations at the time. There were only 8 countries at the time, and that's why Ghana dominated the African Cup of Nations in the 60s. And then now it's Egypt. Egypt is a powerhouse of African football now. Okay, I think Nigeria has also won it a few times. Cameroon has won it a few times. Ghana has won it 4 times, and I know Egypt has won it like 6 times, I think. And they're hosting it now, so they might be pushing to win it again. So I mean, Egypt has put themselves, in position to be the fairest. Okay, we're not talking about pale skinned Egyptians. We're talking about, Egyptians, Africans. All right, so those that identify as Africans. Okay, so yeah, it's a beautiful thing that's happening in Africa, uniting North Africa with Southern Africa. So the only time you see a festival between North Africa and South Africa, coming to have a party together in the form of the African Cup of Nations. So if they're not talking about the African Union diplomatic issues, They're talking about it, we have the African Cup of Nations, which is really, really pleasant. So in this year, we have the Africa Free Trade that has happened. Africa is excited, entire continent of Africa, north, south, east, okay, excited to join and trade within ourselves. We as African people can go and live anywhere in Africa, and do business and live our lives. So, which is fantastic. And now we have the African Cup of Nations. So the African Free Trade has been ratified just this month, along the 31st of May. Okay, and then in by the 7th of July, they're going to start trading. And then now we have the African Cup of Nations. So this is really, really fantastic for Africa. So yeah. We know there was the Tanzanian and the Kenyan issue that happened with the politician, the MP, calling for, basically having a xenophobic speech, calling for Kenyans to kick Tanzanians out of Kenya. Okay, and the government has rebuked him, okay, and arrested him, right? So what it is Kenya and Tanzania played in the African Cup of Nations, and Kenya actually beat Tanzania 3-2. So it was a very successful game. So yeah, I applaud them for giving us a good entertainment, and it's all in good fun and good spirit. Right. So yeah, you want to see my DNA? I will show you my DNA in a minute. Okay, I'll show you my DNA. Let's see. Let me show you my DNA. Let me show you my DNA. Right. Let me load it up. Let me load it up and show you my DNA. Let me download. Let me see. Oh, didn't I save this? Let me see. I'm just pulling it up. Okay, I'm just pulling it up. DNA. I have it in my email, which I haven't pulled out, but let's see. All right, so yeah, so I have it up here. Okay, my DNA is up. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen and show you in a minute. Let's see. Share screen. Wow, I had no idea free trade ratified already. It has, family. So excited to see its functionality. Well done, motherland. Yeah, praise to the motherland and all the people working towards that. What made you passionate about mechanical engineering? Double I. I'm passionate about mechanical engineering because I love to build. I love machines. Okay, machines drive economies. Okay, I'm very very economical. In my approach of things. I basically look at things with money. Okay, money is always on my mind. Okay, I like to do things based on economics. So everything that you see, your infrastructure, everything, okay, was built by engineers. Okay, was built by engineers. So everything that we see, your roads, your cars, everything that drives society was built by engineers. And someone like me, I love to build, and I put myself in this position. Okay, it's always more like a talent to build. Engineering is more like a talent, and my hobby as a kid growing up is building things. I built my own computer from scratch when I was like 9 years old. I was building my own computer. I worked for a computer cafe where I was building network cables. At the age of like 10, I was building network cables. I was building servers. So I've always had that aspiration to always build. And now with the BAIO taking position to organize African Americans to go back and build a nation state in Africa. Okay, and me being someone of African American descent, okay, I'm very excited about that, and I'll love to contribute. Send my expertise. I cannot reach my full potential here in Australia, but when I take my skills back to Africa, okay, I can do whatever I want in Africa. The sky's the limit. Okay, the sky's the limit in Africa. All right, um, so yeah, without much ado, I'm gonna share my DNA. Okay, and yeah, for those of you who haven't seen my DNA, where is it? I'm thinking. I think I opened it in. Let me see if I can open it. I cannot. Let's see. Hang on. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. So yeah, sorry for the awkward silence. So yeah, DNA too. I'm just trying to open my DNA here. Because I opened in a different application, so I had to open it in. So yeah. Um, um, so let's see. Uh, hmm. So can you see my screen? Okay, you can see. Okay, I can see from here. So nah, something went wrong. Let's see. Wait. Let me figure this out. Okay, let me figure this out, and I'll show you. Let me figure this out. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay, I think I have to open it in Google Chrome. Okay, so I'll go into it's in my email address. I don't know why I cannot open it in my documents, but it's annoying. Da, 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 da. DNA to Ghana. Okay, so yeah, so exit full screen. Okay, so I've got it up. Okay, so I've got it up now. Yeah, can you all see that? Can you all see it? Okay, so this is my DNA full screen. Okay, let's go to full screen. Okay, full screen. Okay, so this here is my DNA. All right. So I got this done here in Australia. Okay, so it's a very independent DNA company. Okay, so this is my name here. I've just blamed my name, so my name is not out there to the internet. Okay, just conceal my identity for a bit. So yeah, this is it. Okay, so I don't know why I can't block this. Okay. So yeah, if you can see, right? Let's see. So okay, so this is the ancestral origin map. Onana Nation. Okay, so every green dot. I don't know why I can't explode it. It's not allowing me to zoom in. Damn. Okay. I may have to do this another day, but just to show you, okay. So this one here says strength indicator. Okay, the strength indicator. Orange is North Africa. Okay, orange is North Africa, and the purple is Sub-Sahara Africa. But I don't know why they said North Africa and African. So my orange, which is like nearly 60%, okay, about 60% North African, and purple about 40-50%, not 50, 40% Sub-Saharan African. So they break it down into different categories later. Here's the population match, like entire global population match with my DNA. The yellow is African immigrants. So African immigrants comprises of Africans in Europe, Africans in the United States, Africans in South America, Africans in Australia, Africans in Asia, whatever. So it will come up. Red means like 1% or less. So or little or no DNA. So wherever there's a dot on the map is where people have my DNA or people that I can relate to in terms of DNA ancestry. So we have Europe dotted around Europe, Germany, you know. And my mom told me that my grandfather is part German, so this didn't surprise me that it's everywhere. And we know the Germanic people were all over Europe. So here we have Saudi Arabia. I do have ancestry all over here. India, okay, we have India is lit. Okay, we have even all the way into Japan, all the way into Japan, yeah, ancestry all the way here into Japan, Guam. So yeah, this is my even here, Australia. I do have ancestry here. So my DNA goes a long way. My maternal is L3. Okay, my maternal DNA from my mother's side is L3, and we know L3 is the Nilotic people of the Nile. So that's why Rwanda, I'm Rwandan Tutsi because my mother's line is L3, and the African DNA, the L1, L2, and L3. Okay, so we have L2 going to West Africa, L1 staying in like the Bantu people, L1. Okay, West Africans being L2, and then L3 being North Africans and Nilotic people. So yeah, it's just plain that I am, that's why I do have like Egyptian ancestry as well. I don't know if you can see, but there's a yellow dot here. That's Egypt. Okay, there's red. There's all these people here. Red is, Arabian. Red is red plus. Okay, is Arabian. Sorry, I kind of blow this up, but red plus is Arabian, uh, and the drum thing is African, North African. When you go to Morocco, it's heavily populated in Morocco. So that this is where my ancestry, my family, DNA family are Berber Moroccans. So I'll show you another slide in a minute. So when you come to South America, Native Americans is a triangle pointing down. So I'm part Native American as well. Okay, so there, and the arrow showing like European migration to the Americas, and this one showing African migration to the Americas. So this is my DNA, right? So I'm like 60% North African, 40% Sub-Saharan African. This is my DNA overall, and it includes that I do have like European. So everywhere else you see a dot, okay, is where my ancestry comes from. So in Africa, green means highest match, yellow means good, and red means little or no DNA. So here we have Cape Verde, we have Sierra Leone, and I know Sierra Leone because of my African American heritage, and we have Liberia. So Liberia is in red, meaning very little. Okay, but Sierra Leone is a good match. Yeah, we have North Africans, we have Western Sahara, Mauritania. This is my ancestry, and people don't really understand that. Before Sub-Saharan Africans were taken as slaves into the United States, okay, they were taken the closest to Africa, the closest to Europe. So we're talking about the Berbers, the North Africans. They were shipped to the Americas first as slaves. They were shipped there first. When they faced resistance from the Muslims, that's when they went down south. So basically, the Muslims in the north, maybe strike a peace deal with the Europeans that no, don't take us. We are educated. We have our Islamic religion. So they had a truce or had an agreement to together. That's why you see the Muslims, the North Africans working hand in hand to enslave Sub-Saharan Africans, because a lot of the Sub-Saharan Africans had practiced voodoo. So that's why you see when you see the slave movies, you see the people wearing the Moorish hat, catching the Sub-Saharan Africans as slaves and shipping them to the Americas. So this is what happened before they came to Sub-Saharan Africa. They were taking off Africans. Okay, so my ancestry to the United States predates a whole lot of African Americans, because my ancestry is North African. Okay, my ancestry is North African. So that's why you see people like DJ Khaled and people like these people are Africans. They're North Africans, right? And people that I share DNA with. So and evidently this is what it is. And I trace my ancestry all the way back to Virginia. Okay, Washington D.C. This is where my grandfather comes from. So yeah. So before the 1611, 1619, when the first Sub-Saharan African slave ship came to Jamestown, Virginia, there were already North Africans here. So we're talking about places like Mauritania, Senegal, Gambia, the Mende people, the Mandingos. They were already slaves they were already taken as slaves or indentured servers, given indentured servitude to the Europeans in Americas. Okay, so evidently, my ancestry mainly came out of slavery, all along the coast, predominantly. So you see Liberia, Sierra Leone, the Berber, North Africa. You have Cameroon right here, Cameroon. So we have Cameroon, right? We have the Cameroon and Western Cameroon. So basically, this is me. You have Angola and Namibia, okay, along the coast. Mozambique, Tanzania. We have Somalia here. So no wonder a lot of people come to me and ask if I'm Somali. So yeah, I do have Somali ancestry. Indian. I've got people asking me if I'm Indian. And when I was in Japan, people were saying, "Are you Japanese?" I'm like, "What? No way, I can't be Japanese." But I've got a lot of people question me if I'm like some sort of like dark Asian or something. But yeah, no. It's just that I'm just mixed, and I wouldn't say I'm racially ambiguous because I'm black, but I do have some features that um, you know cause people to ask questions. But yeah, basically this is me. Okay, this is my DNA dispersion or my DNA ancestry. Okay, mainly 99.9% African. Okay, I give the 1% to like European and Asian, but 99% African, North African, Sub-Saharan African. Power, boom. Okay, so here's the breakdown for it. Uh, so your STR profile is a permanent means of individual identification, unlike a name that may be shared, an identification card number that can be stolen, or photographs that change over time. Your personal DNA identity remains constant from the moment of conception to the end of your life. Your profile demonstrates your genetic similarity to family members, as well as the genetic uniqueness that distinguishes you from the rest of the world. Should you or your family need help from a law enforcement agency, such as in search of a missing person due to abduction, incident, or natural disaster, your profile is fully compatible with the internationally recognized DNA identity standards. Okay, so this is my DNA. Like, my DNA is like boom, and this is my STR profile. So whenever I quote this profile out, okay, when I show them this profile, they can always match me with my family members. So yeah, okay. If you watch out, people in the United States, when I come, okay, when I come to the United States, I'm gonna look for my family, okay, in the United States. I'll just show this my DNA profile, and then it'll match me with my family members. All right, so the rank regional affiliation, okay, this is it's not in an order or percentage, but it just shows like the population. Okay, so we have African immigrants, so meaning like, you know, especially in the United States, because that's where my grandfather comes from. So there's more of my ancestors in the Americas. So there's nine population matches in the Americas. In Africa, there's 7 population matches in Africa, and in North Africa, there's 4 population matches in North Africa. Okay, so here in when you go down, it's coming on. When you go down to the bottom of the screen, here it tells you North African Moroccan Berber, Moroccan Berbers, the northern and central Moroccan Berbers, Rwandans Tutsi, okay, Mozabites Algeria, Berbers Morocco, southern Moroccan Berbers, okay. So I am like predominantly Moroccan Berber and Algerian, a little bit Algerian, but predominantly Moroccan Berber. And when you come to the Americas, like we have Virginia African American, VDFS African American, Jamaican African American, and Bahama African. So this is my DNA. So yeah, I will do a proper video. I have actually done a video on it. It's like, a few minutes, like a 2-minute video on my YouTube, my channel. You can look for it, Uganda DNA. You can find that on my DNA, so you can check it out. Okay. So yeah, if you've seen it, thank you all for seeing this. I was meant to be on Danny's show and you know show Danny's my DNA that um, in 2019, okay, we need to embrace everyone of African descent. Okay, we need to be united. This is not the time for us to be divided and discriminatory. Okay, so I know Dennis is all about Nigeria and that, but he has so much discontent for Ghana and stuff like that. But this is tribalism, and we don't need that. We don't need that in Africa, right? All right, family. So yeah, Onana Nation, I hope you've seen the DNA. Yeah, let me know if you like it. Okay, like this video if you've come in, like this video and share, and I am done. Okay, I'm excited for 500 subscribers, 502 subscribers. Thank you all, family. Thank you so much for making this a possibility. And I look forward. Next push is 1,000 subscribers. Okay, so help the channel grow, so I can bring you live events in Australia. Okay, live events in Australia and what's happening in Australia. So yeah, we're gonna have a good time. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining the stream and making it a possibility. Thank you, family. All right, peace to Africa. Okay, peace to Africa. One love to all. Okay, peace and love. Okay, thank you all. Peace. Thank you all for joining the stream and making it a possibility. Thank you, family. Peace, family. Peace. Let's see. Onana Nation already gave you thumbs up. Nice hanging out with you. Thank you. Thank you. Niger boy, complicated too mixed. I am sorry. I apologize, but I'm so mixed, family. I am so mixed. But above all, right, I see myself as African. Okay, I can't run away from it. All right, I see myself as African. TIA, thanks for joining the stream. Okay, I really appreciate you. Okay, I really appreciate you, family. Minko, thanks for joining the stream, family. Finally made it. Okay, thanks for hanging out. Thank you. I stepped out. I'm not seeing the chat, but thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate you. Matilda, thank you for joining the stream. Onyx Stallion, okay, if you're still here, thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate you. Naima Bakna, thanks for joining the stream. Ryan Nimes, thanks for joining the stream. Okay. And Niger Boy, thank you for all the subscribers. Okay, I really appreciate you, fam. Okay, I can't wait for your next videos when you travel for your wedding in Helsinki. Okay, so Helsinki is the capital of Ukraine, isn't it? Isn't it? So no, that's Kiev. Where's Helsinki? Finland? No. I've lost my knowledge on geography now. No. Finland, yes, Finland, yes, Helsinki, yeah. So yeah, family. I hope it's nice, warm weather there for your wedding. So yeah. For the wedding of your friend. So yeah, this been a very beautiful stream. I really appreciate it. Onana Nation in Finland. That's right. Okay. So I mean, this world, right? Who is not mixed? We are all mixed. We are all mixed. Okay, we are all mixed. And your DNA, when you take your DNA test, it's gonna tell you that you are mixed. Your DNA test is not gonna say you are one single ethnic group. Okay. And if your DNA says that you're Nigerian, that's a lie. Because Nigeria only existed 50 years ago as a country. Ghana only existed just in the 1957 when Ghana became a country. But when you go to Ghana, Ghana has a lot of ethnic groups. So it's all politics. We are all one African people. So yeah. The Niger boy, yes, then go home in Odessa, Ukraine. Okay, cool. Okay, I can't wait to see your vlogs, family. I can't wait to see your vlogs. All right. So yeah, again, thank you all. Okay, for 500 subscribers and above. Okay, let's push for 1,000. Okay, spread the news. Okay, I bring the education. Okay, I bring the education. Don't entertain yourself too much. Don't entertain yourself too much with entertainment. Okay, feed yourself with knowledge. All right, feed yourself with knowledge. And I'm glad, Onana Nation, I'm glad that you are now aware that African free trade has been ratified. It will be in full effect. They will start trading on the 7th of July, so which is really great. Okay, and shout out again to Egypt for hosting African Cup of Nation. It's going very well, and yeah, go check out some games. Okay, all right, peace, family. I see everyone is leaving, so yeah, peace. Okay, peace out. One love.